So yeah, let's start with the first pitch. That's Workkola, yes. So let's have Workkola team over here in the MBAs. So who can I give the clicker to?
She's the first one.
But I don't need it. I only need the
Get the mic.
Can you hear me clearly,
Yes.
everybody?
Yeah.
So I don't need it. Woman doesn't need it.
All right, give it up for Workkola then.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. And last night, you already know the awesome business model from Workkola, which provides thousands of opportunities for startups and students to explore a lot of possibility to help their project in startup. So later on, it's really our pleasure to work with Alvaro today to work on these challenges. So later on, my team and me will, Biron and Fanny, gonna present what we saw initially and what's the problem and how we're gonna fix it in the future. So welcome, Biron.
All right. So actually we had 3 challenges, and instead of tackling them one by one, we actually tackled them all together. And the idea was to do a revenue forecast for the next 24 months initially. We do an investment roadmap and to do a price modeling. And after looking at the forecast, it was clear it was very hard that it's going to be a 24 months forecast. So we decided let's do a forecast of 12 months to get to the next funding round. And this is also what was basically our investment roadmap to get to this to the next round. And what was the idea of this round? So it was we have to get to a 5 million valuation in 12 months. So to get the Series A, to not give away too much of the company, so we had to model it. And as Workkola is a marketplace, we had some difficulties of matching the supply and the demand. But first, we were thinking, okay, if we get to a 5 million valuation, with our current model, we're not going to have so much revenue. So how do we come up with a justification for the investors? And our idea was, well, we're going to put a value on each of the students that's actually going to be in the platform. And this is, we thought it was going to be 52 euros. But you can see here, this is mostly coming for the top students. Because the top students in our platform, we're not only going to give them away for projects, they are also going to be hired, and those hiring fees are going to be much higher than just selling the product. But going into the numbers, what we came up with, we said, okay, we have a current investment sum. This is fixed. How much students can we actually attract to the platform? And this was quite a lot of students. But then we had a problem because although there was not going to be enough companies actually on the platform to provide all the projects. So we kind of started an iteration and lowered the spending in the marketing and also in the spending to attract the students. So that in the end we were in a corridor of demand to projects that was kind of acceptable. And this is really some interesting learning. So if you have a marketplace, you really have to do a lot of iterations and tweaks, because always there's going to be something that will look odd in the first place. So then we matched it. It looks so they grow in the kind of same direction, but what's not growing only flat is going to be the revenue. One last thing. What the metrics are going to cost to the business.
Yeah, so we decided to essentially leverage the same business model that Amazon uses, the flywheel model, where we think that by increasing the kind of features that the product comes up with, by increasing the kind of project segmentation and the kind of skill sets that students are exposed to, that would directly lead to an interest and an increase in the number of students. Like Bjorn was mentioning, we did see that we could have a lot of students come onto the platform, which would lead to an exceptionally high demand. So we decided to curtail marketing spends, but have a sustainable number of students so that we could fulfill the top segment, which was the highly talented and the highly engaged students, for startups to engage with these students and to hire them, because they are the main revenue drivers that we see. So an increase in the number of students on the platform would lead to a critical mass, which would help more companies get attracted to the platform by helping them post more projects and more offerings for students. And that, in turn, would lead to a higher economy of scale, where we would scale out properly, and then we'd have a much lower cost structure, which we could leverage to enhance the service quality by increasing the number of features that we have on the platform, which would then feed back into the same system we have. So some of the proposals that we came up with were, well, firstly, increasing the talent, firstly, segmenting the talent that we had from the demographics, the way we looked at the APIs which were collecting demographics of the kind of people who we had on the platform, to segment it better, and to also have additional...
Thank you!
Well, so from your experience from today, we would like to know maybe what is for you the key strength in the startup that you work with, and how would you see it evolve with this strength, and how you can develop the strength?
Actually, as an international student, I really see Workkola is a really good opportunity, because as I know, I don't speak Spanish. So sometimes I want to learn, try to do some project for staff, but I don't have a lot of resources. Of course, that's the entrepreneur part, but this one also can help me to filter like a lot of companies. So for me, that would definitely be a very good opportunity. And also, I was talking with Avalo, because I was in Shanghai last year for exchange. So I will also try help him to expand the network from to Asia. So I think it's really a good opportunity.
Thank you. Now that you've been able to work with your company for a while, what would be your one most essential piece of advice that they have to implement in order to survive the next year?
For me would be clearly to get the acquisition costs under control. Like this is key if you're gonna be like in the recruiting market, and there are a lot of recruiting platforms out there, so you kind of have to find the magic sauce to attract the companies to the platform. And this also has to go for the students, but I think for the students it's more easier because it's something new. But still, companies have to know about it, and then the marketing has to be really good.
Yeah, adding on to that, I mean, we see this platform as something that's a little more niche in that we want to see companies which are early stage or in the Series A and Series B rounds of funding, so that they would have access to a bigger talent pool, and they would be able to leverage students who are just emerging out of their graduate programs in order for them to add more experience. So,
No, I think it's good. Any questions from that? Any questions from the audience? Nope. Okay, thanks. Workkola.